Story 1. My mother always said nothing in the dark changes in the light. I started wondering if she could see them too. Story 2. I locked the bathroom door and exhaled. The handle turned from the other side, slow and patient. Story 3. I heard my name from the basement. I live alone and the basement is sealed. Story 4. The last text from Mom said hide. My mother has been dead for years. Story 5. I checked the baby monitor and saw my toddler asleep. The audio whispered from the nursery, "Do not turn on the light." Story 7. I reached under the bed to pet my dog. The hand that grabbed my wrist was warm and human. Story 8. I found muddy footprints in the hallway. They stopped at my bed, pointing toward my pillow. Story 9. I heard my roommate come home and set keys down. A second later she texted, "I am still at work. Do not come out." The ones I already picked up do not like being abandoned. Story 13. The cop said he would let me off with a warning. Then he heard the thump from my trunk. Story 14. My new deadbolt felt stiff for a week. Then it started turning easily at 303, like someone practiced. Story 15. I tried noise-canceling headphones to sleep. In the silence, I finally heard the whispering clearly. Story 16. My kid said, "Mommy, my friend is coming over." The motion detecting light in the empty hallway turned on. Story 17. I pulled the motel curtain closed. Something on the other side pulled back gently. Story 18. I smiled at the mirror to calm myself. My reflection did not smile back. Story 19. I was finishing a horror story and typed the end. My keyboard typed "is coming" by itself. Story 20. I heard my father sneaking down the hall. I closed my eyes and checked the knife under my pillow. Story 21. The mechanic said my brakes were fine. He asked why the back seat belts were cut clean through. Story 22. I got a delivery photo of my front door. In the reflection, someone stood inside my hallway. Story 23. I always hated funerals. It got easier once I started making them for strangers. Story 24. My wife made coffee every morning, no matter how we fought. Today it tasted like almonds. Story 25. I always wondered what happens after you die. Now that I know, I try not to think about it. Story 26. The hotel clerk said, "Same room as last time." I have never been here, but the key sleeve had my address. Story 27. Are you afraid of the dark? he asked. The bulb shattered behind me. Story 28. I heard scratching inside the walls again. Tonight it scratched the underside of my mattress. Story 29. My closet creaked open and I flinched. I pretended I did not see him crouched in the corner. Story 30. I found my childhood diary in a box. Today's entry was already written. Story 31. We wanted to disappear where no one could find us. We succeeded, and now we cannot find our way back. Story 32. I swiped my badge at work and it beeped red. Security said my badge was used 10 minutes ago. Story 33. I do not pick up hitchhikers anymore. The one in my backseat still gives directions. Story 34. My daughter's smiling face greeted me in the driveway. I asked where the rest of her was. Story 35. Alone in my room, I sneezed softly. Someone whispered, "Bless you." I could not tell what shook more, her hands or her voice. Story 39. I woke up in the dark and reached for the call button. My knuckles hit the steel of a morgue drawer. Story 40. I installed a door chain after someone tried my lock. In the morning, the chain was latched and the door was open. Story 41. I saw a girl outside my window. I live on the 7th floor. Story 42. My parents told me to stay out of the woods. They never told the woods to stay away from me. Story 43. I loved clap-on lights until I tried them at night. Something under my bed clapped back to turn them off. Story 44. I thought blood made me sick. It turns out only my blood does. Story 45. My friend got $5 for her first tooth under the pillow. I got a silver coin no one can identify. Story 46. I kept finding dead birds on my stoop. Then I found my cat on the mat with its head twisted off. Story 47. I found old tapes in my father's closet. I knew what they were until the screaming started. Story 48. I hate dogs because they never believe my disguise. Their owners always do. Story 49. The doctor warned of minor side effects. I decided minor was a lie when I spat out a tooth. Story 50. What sins have you committed? The priest asked. I started at the top and did not look up.